Hey there, and welcome to Motherhood Unplugged. I'm your host, Mama Olive, otherwise known as Tatiana Karanja, and this is the podcast where we talk about motherhood honestly and openly. I'm so excited to share that this episode is brought to you by Malaika, Kenya's leading maternal care platform. Malaika connects you with trusted healthcare providers, offers personalized care plans, and offers the resources you need to navigate motherhood with confidence. You can check them out at malaika.com or on Instagram. We'll put all the details down in the link below. Hi, Cathy.
Hi, Tats.
I knew you're nervous. Honestly, this is going to be such an easy conversation. And I want to start this off by saying I met Cathy in Kilifi and we had such an interesting conversation. And I begged her to come on the podcast to tell her story. And she came all the way to Kilifi to be here for this podcast episode. So firstly, thank you so much for, taking the time and coming all the way down here to do this. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's amazing, awesome.
Yeah, I think it will be really nice to be able to share your story and to connect with a lot of different mums that maybe I haven't connected with. I think every mum's story deserves to be told, and one thing that I've noticed is that when you start talking about your motherhood journey, you wouldn't even believe how many other mums are like, "Thank you so much for sharing that," because I haven't heard something I've been going through being shared, and which is why I really wanted you to come and share your story, and hopefully I'm sure by you telling your story, you're going to be touching a lot of mums, and mums will be reaching out because we all want community. We all want somebody that we can belong to or, feel valued and feel heard. And I think that you'll offer this space to a lot of mums out there. So before we begin, maybe you can share a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, let our audience know where we can find you. I also want to say that if you don't notice already, look at her arms. She is so into fitness. So I know today we're talking about motherhood, but you can also just share your fitness journey a little bit because, we can all see. Yeah, so maybe you can introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. So I live in Kilifi. I'm a mom to 4 adorable turtles, and I run a business, Mawono's Blossom. It's a Kilifi-based lifestyle brand, and I stock bespoke, decor pieces, clothing, accessories. Yeah, and I've connected with a lot of people through my business, and I've been able to grow the brand through those connections. And I also got to meet Tatiana in Kilifi, through one of those social events, and she got to know a little bit about me, and here we are. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you, Cathy. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so today's episode is on how every child is different. Each and every child is different. And so we're going to start with the fact that you have 4 kids. How are they all different from each other?
Wow. And indeed, they are different. So I have 4 kids. My first 2 are neurodivergent. My firstborn, she's 11. She's got ADHD. And my second-born son, who's 9, he's in the autism spectrum, nonverbal. And I have the third one is 7. He's neurotypical, and a little one also is neurotypical. She's 3. Yeah, and so I have to show up differently for all 4 of them, and especially for the 2 neurodivergent ones. And I still have to show up differently for them individually. Yeah, so because they are neurodivergent, but they are different in their own ways. And then, of course, the 2 others, I have to show up differently also for them and individually as well. Yeah, so my firstborn, I would describe her as an assertive leader and very curious.
I love that word. Sorry, I feel like Kenyans like to say sassy, and I don't necessarily always find that a positive association. I mean, I think sassy is great, but I sometimes feel like when Kenyans say sassy, it's not. They don't mean necessarily in a great way. So I really love the way you're like assertive. I think that's I'm going to start using that instead of I'm not sure that if your child is sassy. Yeah. I just mean for me, it makes sense for how I'm going to describe my kids now. Instead of using sassy, I'm going to say assertive.
Right. Yeah. So she's really, taken up the role. I don't want to say the firstborn role, because then that feels like you lay the entire responsibility to her. But as a leader, like as a top she's at the top. So she's taken up that role seriously. I don't even know where it came from because she's very organized, even the way she handles her siblings. And she will handle her second born, my second born, who's autistic. She will handle him entirely differently from the way she will handle the little ones.
Wow.
She has come to, they all understand that they are different, but there's a way she looks at him and you can see she clearly understands that he is extremely different from the rest of them. So even like, for example, on school days, she says, instead of them packing their bags in the morning of the school, they'll pack the bags the previous day. So I remember I overheard her one day telling her siblings, so the third born was like, why are you packing now? Let's pack tomorrow. No, I like to plan. I was like, oh, great. So if he doesn't want to do it, then she'll do it for all of them.
Right.
And even when it comes to household chores, she's very involved. And I don't push my children to do household chores. They just, it just flows because then you want to make it like a fun activity and not really an obligation where they're going to struggle. Why do we have to do this? Why is mommy making us do this? So they do it when they can, as and when they wish, and they just flow with it. So you'll find maybe when she's doing dishes, she's like, hey, brothers, hey, Mina, my little one, come, wash your hands. Let's come and dry the dishes, and one will store them. Yeah, so that's what I mean about her, like being more like a leader.
Right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And then my second born is, he's very practical. And I feel he's also routine oriented, mainly maybe because he's in the spectrum. Yeah, because kids within the spectrum are, very structured. So, but on the other hand, I feel it's because of the leadership he's got.
Right.
He just, he knows once we're done with dinner, we take our plates to the kitchen, we clear the plates before we put them in the sink.
Right.
Then we clear the table, we'll sweep. You'll just find him picking the broom and, doing like it's just routine, even if it's not dirty, even if the floor is not dirty.
Right.
Yeah. So, and he knows, if he sees his younger brother go to dress up for bed, he knows it's time for bed. So he is very good at following what they do. So I keep emphasizing on, trying to do the right thing because especially for him, he will just follow what they do.
Right.
Yeah. And then my third born son is, I would say he's an explorer, a curious explorer, and very adventurous.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's
he
a
loves,
third born thing, I think.
I guess, yeah. So he loves to discover, and he's, he'll go all out with questions, and he'll want different experiences, and so that also, keeps us going. You have to be ready to answer all those questions, yeah. And the little one, oh, she's spicy.
Spicy.
I think she's a spicy go-getter. I could say that. Yeah. So she's in her element at the moment because you have a 3-year-old, you know how it goes.
Yep.
I don't want it, especially when they learn the word no. Yeah. And I don't like that. No, I'm not going to do it. So she's there.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes, we'll have a little bit of conflict here and there, even with her siblings. But yeah, I love them all as they are, as they
love
come.
3-year-old age though. I really love it because at the end of the day, they're human beings with their own, they have their own wants and needs and characteristics. And why should they say yes to everything? Just because we're so used to them being, we have been able to tell them everything up until this point. So it's like this shock suddenly that they're like, actually, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. And then it's like, wait, what? I love the 3-year-old age. I honestly think it's so beautiful.
And remember, we taught them to say no. We taught them to stand firm. So
exactly.
Here I am
Let them
now.
do exactly. What's that quote? Okay, I love the word spicy because I love that my kids also are spicy. Specifically, my oldest and my youngest. Nova is also very spicy. So you can't really get away with much with her. And I love that for her as an individual. But then when we're at home, sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, just be a bit more agreeable for me. Yes. But out there in the real world, yes, be independent, be fierce. Don't take anything from anyone. But at home, just relax a little bit. I don't know. That's what I feel. But I think for since, Malaika is sponsoring this podcast, and the reason that I was really interested to work with them is because they're very interested. I mean, they take a lot of care in prenatal, postnatal care, and they really care about the mums. And I think a lot of the time it's always baby centered. How baby's doing, go up for the baby check. You're firstly always doing ultrasounds to see how the baby's doing. Then you have the baby, then you have to go for their 6-week checkup. You have to do their vaccinations. It's always baby, baby, baby. And no one is really caring about what the mums are going through, And I feel like the 4th trimester is the hardest trimester out of all of them.
Yeah.
You are just hit with a newborn. You're just told to go home. You have no idea what you're doing. It's just one of the scariest times. And I think it's really nice to be able to have people that are interested in taking care of you and making sure that you're okay. And I want to know, what was your experience like, specifically with your first two? Because I think once we had our conversation in Khalifi, you mentioned that, there was a point where you realized you needed some support, or, you wanted to dive deeper into maybe some of the things that you were thinking. What was your experience with your 4th trimester, or just generally the doctors? How was it after your birth? How did you feel supported after, 4th trimester and beyond?
Well, the first child, I thought that was the norm. Like after you've gotten the baby, it's normal for you to have, feelings of depression, and go through those low moments. I didn't know better, that could be, you're dealing with postpartum stress, right? Yeah. So I pushed through. And then at the time also, I didn't know, as she was growing, I didn't think of her being neurodivergent. But then when she was getting into toddlerhood, I could see, there were certain signs of the way she would operate, having no background whatsoever about neurodivergent kids. But then you just see, it feels like she's a different child from another, or there's something that goes a little bit of extreme. You'd see this repetitive signs, or sometimes when, she's mad, she's extremely mad. She had both extremes, yeah?
Right.
So then with time, I started, researching on those kind of traits. And then that's when, in fact, it was more self-diagnosed initially than before I took her for a professional diagnosis. And then so when I got my second born, I think I had kind of gotten into the rhythm, and I knew how to show up for myself, and, to be gentle and to breathe and to take time, just, to basically be gentle, yeah? And then, so I felt like it was, the 4th trimester for the second one wasn't as tough as the first one.
Right.
And yet I didn't even know it was tough when I was in the first one, because I had not had another experience.
Right.
Yeah, so it wasn't that tough. But then also, he was a very calm child. And in as much as he was in the spectrum without me not having found out or established what exactly he was, there are times he would throw a tantrum and it would go extreme. But then I thought it's just the normal, children, how they are and as they grow up. And then this is a boy. The first one was a girl. So I'm thinking this is a boy. So maybe
this is how boys behave.
Yes, this is how boys behave. It's different. And then, but it all made sense when I had the diagnosis done. And I felt like everything just went calm. But I think it's because then I knew I was in the know of what was going on. Yeah, like what he's going through or what he has.
Right.
And then, so by the time I was getting my third one and my fourth one, it was just smooth.
Easy breezy.
Easy
sailing.
Yeah. Yeah. Not as smooth though, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Also with my third as well, I felt a lot more calm. You know a lot more about parenting than when you first have this newborn. So obviously as a parent, you're feeling a little bit more confident in who you are, which then translates into a bit of an easier time. Well, yeah, they're not easy. Let's not say easy. But yeah, into a bit of a smoother transition.
Yes.
Let's say. Yeah. And then I wanted to know what your experience experience then is, as you've mentioned, you have two neurodivergent children. And I wonder what your experience is now going through life, having to, maybe it's in school. What are the kids being taught about it? Or how do you navigate different certain situations where people might not understand some certain things? How do you navigate that as a mom? Because I mean, myself included, and I just spoke about this with Dr. Carol, of course, when my kids behave in a certain way in public, and it's just every kid does this, then, you as a parent, you start now, what am I doing? How am I behaving? How am I going to discipline my child? Da, da, da. But I mean, I'm sure there are different such situations that you've been through. Then do you feel the need to over-explain? I would love to know what your experience is with that and how you navigate those situations.
Okay. First of all, I must say I have a great community in Kilifi. Yeah, I have, at least the connections I have made in Kilifi, people have been supportive in ways that they may not even realize.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, Kilifi.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, so socially, mostly, I remember when I first moved there and I had to take my kids out for something, and then, of course, they have to interact with other kids or socialize with other kids. I would overthink on the situation, how it's going to be, because then I have to handle, especially my second born, Theodore, I have to handle Theodore differently, because then the fact that he doesn't talk, how will people deal with him, or how will he deal with people?
Right.
And the stigma around it.
Right.
Yeah. And then my firstborn, Natasha will show up, in her, element, and she's all over the place, or maybe she won't be able to read certain social cues. So those, I would think about such things. And
right.
There are times I remember I would not even show up for, invitations without necessarily sharing the reason. But then one day I just told myself, we have to do this.
Right.
Babies, mommy, we have to do this. So I realized there was nothing as I was thinking. We go, we interact. I remember like the very first time we went out on, I think it was a play on an afternoon. And then we got there, then there was a restaurant. So the first thing Theodore does is pinch French fries that belong to a mama that became my friend later.
Right.
So I was like,
somebody else's plate.
So I hadn't seen him, because then I was concentrating on these other kids, and we had just checked in. And Theodore is so fast. By the way, he's so quick. So he was already, so I went and apologized. I was so apologetic because we had not even ordered. And then there we are, he's big. And then she was like, no, it's fine. Let him have.
I love that. I love people who support moms.
And from that day, we became friends. In fact, the next time I saw her, we didn't even have each other's numbers. But the next time I saw her, I told her, thank you so much. And then after that, we grew, fond of each other, and we are friends.
Right.
And she said, no, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. They understand.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't even need to explain to anybody.
Right.
That my child is different.
Right.
When we are at a social place, you see, people will just notice, and they'll treat them or adjust accordingly. Yeah. Right. So, and then I remember there's another occasion. Natasha wanted something. I think there was a muffin on a table somewhere. It was a different table. So she was offered. Then she said, wait, let me first go ask mommy.
Ooh, wow.
Everybody there was like, wow, she's so disciplined. That's so courteous. And yeah, so then there's a mama who was signaling. She's like, say yes.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, no.
You were going to say no.
Yeah, of course, it's not ours. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. And have there been any situations where you thought were quite difficult to handle?
Yes. When we are somewhere, especially with Theodore, and maybe we've ordered and it's taken so long, because when he's hungry, he's hungry.
Right.
It's probably 2 years ago, but there's been a huge difference between now and then.
Right.
you would not believe it now. If you went somewhere with him today,
Right.
he will patiently wait. But
Right.
that time, he wouldn't. So I remember there's a time he really, really threw a tantrum. He was on the ground, like he's not having it.
Right.
But I just had to try and be firm. Like, we have to wait. Yeah, let's practice waiting. Yeah, so for him, mostly it's when he wants it, then, not now. When he wanted it there and then.
Right.
Yeah, whether if we're getting ready to get out of the house, he knows we are going somewhere. So if we've taken longer than he expected, they just expect a tantrum. So it's not only about maybe when we are outside, but that was before. Now we've come a long way.
Right.
Yes.
That's so beautiful.
Yes. And I believe, like I'm saying, the support around the people you hang out with or your surrounding community really matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, really
I
matters.
literally just said this to Dr. Carol because
Yeah.
I think as a mom, just generally, whatever you're going through, having people, like-minded people around you, people who can support you, people you can feel safe or not judged around is so important. So now when you have a group of friends or even family that you feel like you're being judged or you're having a hard time, those are not the right people to be around. And
Yeah.
you need to prioritize your well-being and the well-being of your family. It's so important. So that's really nice that you feel supported in Kilifi. I've tried to come there many times. I know I would love to be there too, but no, I think that's really, really beautiful. How do you feel that necessarily, you talked about earlier how you have to treat each child differently. Do you feel that also happens like every age you're finding something new that develops that you have to, adjust yourself? And also, what are your different approaches to, for example, just earlier we were talking about discipline, but what are some of the different approaches you take with each different child that may look differently for each child?
Oh, yes, you're right. Every year you're a different mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm already experiencing that with Natasha because she's almost getting to a teenager and she she won't stop talking about it.
Yeah. I remember being so excited. Yeah.
Yes. So in terms of discipline, you see now, Natasha is 11. There's definitely I'll definitely discipline her differently from the way I'll discipline Mina, the little one,
Right.
or Dorian, the third born, and
Right.
Theodore. So for Natasha, we've had a conversation before, actually more than once. Please call me out if I raise my voice or if you feel I'm inappropriately harsh. And I've done that collectively with all four of them. But she would have a better understanding because then she's older.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you asked that because the other day she asked me, she said, "Mommy, I have a question for you." It was just before bedtime. When we were having that conversation earlier, do you think you were firm or harsh? Oh, wow.
Wow. This is a conversation you're having at 11?
Yeah,
Wow.
she can't wait to get to 13. So I don't know what we'll be talking about. Anyway, so I was put on the spot because honestly, I had been harsh. Yeah. So I decided to direct the question to her. I asked her, "What do you think? Was Mommy harsh or firm?" "I think you were a little bit harsh."
Wow.
Yeah, I think she was just trying to be kind.
Right.
Yeah. So I told her I appreciate the fact that she told me what she felt, and I will try to make adjustments. Then we just did a nice hug and good night. Because then, sorry, you don't want her to sleep when she's angry or upset.
Yeah, and I'm just, sorry, the reason I was about to say something is because, again, the conversation I just had with Dr. Carol was about discipline. And the whole premise was, discipline is about connection.
Yes.
You need to connect with your kids. It's not about harming, etc. And literally everything you're saying now is just like emulating what that conversation we just had. And it just goes to show how it works. Because to be able to be 11, having that kind of mature conversation with your parent obviously comes from a place of connection. Clearly, you have been connecting with your kids this whole time instead of doing harsh punishment, which I don't think necessarily is the right way to go. That's just my 2 cents. I know we're all doing our best and we're just trying to parent our best way, but you're just proving that connection is the way to go. And I just can't believe that a daughter who's 11, first even knows the difference between firm and harsh. I think now you've just given me something to think about with my kids as well. Like, Mama can be firm and I'm not being harsh.
Yes.
And then there is a time when I'm being harsh and then you should apologize for that.
Yes.
And I think that's just such a beautiful way to I mean, you're just giving me hope that, this is the right way to do things. I mean, sometimes there are days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I could strangle. Okay, let me maybe not say that online, but I know every mom has been there. I know with my chest,
Yes.
and we don't mean it.
Yes.
We love our kids to death, but it gives me hope in that what I'm doing is the right way. And these are the kind of mature conversations I wish to have with my kids when they're older. I want them to be able to tell me, you know what, Mama, I didn't like what you did. And we're having a mature conversation and we hug before bed. I think that's just really beautiful. So honestly, Cathy, well done. I really hope to get to that stage with Olive on that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, but it takes a lot of work. You have to be very, very intentional about it. And you're right, connection is a foundation.
Right.
Yes. So because there are times, of course, I want to crash. Yeah. There are times I just want to lock myself in the bedroom and breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I have to show up.
Right.
Nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was, in as much as you may feel you're over here by the time you're having that conversation, or even when you're done with the conversation, when your child comes to you to establish whether you are harsh or firm, it even makes you, regroup.
Right.
Yeah, I need to rethink how I'm going to deal with this next time,
right.
even for yourself, right? Yeah. So for the rest of them, so for the beauty about Theodore, like I said, is very practical.
Right.
So he listens.
Right.
Yeah. And when he's being cheeky, he squints.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When he knows I'm not supposed to be doing this, and I know mommy will call me out on this, but I might as well try.
Yeah, I just
Let me push my
luck.
boundaries. Yeah. So he will squint, and I know. So I tell him, I know it's not right.
Yeah.
So he understands.
That's so funny because I do the same with Marley, and she looks exactly like her dad when she's doing it as well. So every time, and she puts this face, and I'm like, you look exactly. And her dad. I mean, obviously we've had, I talk about it openly. We're not together. We've had our issues, but the one thing that we've joked about in the past is that cheeky face that he has. She has the exact face, and when she starts squinting, from a mile away, and you have to run to be like, what is going on here? Because you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I when it comes to discipline with Theodore, like I said, we've come a long way.
Right.
But today he's a different child. Yeah. Yeah. He follows instructions. And then as for Dorian, my third born, like I said, he's very curious. So he will ask so many whys. Yeah, so many whys, so much so that you may get frustrated. And here we're dealing with discipline. Mama is here. Yeah, she needs to sort this out. But then I remind myself, gentle parenting.
Right.
And you need to answer their questions. Yeah, because then who else will answer?
Exactly.
Right?
They just want to know about the world.
Yes,
right.
Yes. As for the little one, Mina, she's a toddler. So I extend grace for her being a toddler, but we still have to have tough conversations. That is not good. It's not good for you to throw things at people. It's not good for you to raise your voice. I'm not shouting. No, you're shouting. Please calm down. Let's listen to each other. Let's have a conversation. Not easy. You could spend half an hour and still not achieve it.
Right.
But it gets better tomorrow.
Right.
They know it.
You're right. Yeah.
They know it.
And do you also have problems with, for example, my older ones will be like, but how come you're treating Nova like that and not us? And, you're older and you know better.
Yes.
At this age, I mean, there's a conversation I had the other day where I have unfairly treated for example, Olive unfairly because I felt that she was so much older when she wasn't. But that's not what I'm talking about here. It's just generally, now they are 8 and 6. Nova is 3.
Yes.
You know not to do it this way. And also Nova her brain development at this point is completely different than yours. So the way I'm approaching her is a bit different. So sometimes they get a bit frustrated. Do you also have that with your kids?
Yes, no doubt. I've experienced that with Natasha. How come Mina is allowed?
Yeah.
So I have to explain to her, yes, Mina doesn't know, doesn't have as much information or as you do.
Right.
Yeah, and because you're older, then you have better experience.
Right.
You have to try and also, she's still a child.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's 11, but she's still a child. So you have to just bring her, closer and let her try to make her understand.
Right.
And then I tell her, when Mina is older, she will understand better, and I'm sure she'll not repeat the same.
Amen.
Yeah, she'll not do that again. Yeah.
Exactly. So again, it's just about connecting, talking to them on the level that they could understand.
Yes.
I love that. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Earlier, you also mentioned that you sometimes feel like you want to close the door and just, and I think something that maybe you haven't said here is also, you're also a single mom of 4 kids. I don't know, I would be in a home. I'm already feeling like I'm on my way to a mental home. How do you get time for yourself? What are the things that you do to replenish yourself? How do you get time away from do you take time away from your kids? Like, what are the things that you do to make sure that you are showing up your best self?
I do take time away from them. When they're in school. And when I'm at home.
Can I tell you, this is why I'm so eager for school, by the way. It's not even that they need it. I'm just like, get out of the house.
Yes. Yeah. So, and when I'm at work. But yes, I make time for myself. There are times I'll just hang out with my friends. Yeah, I decide maybe 2 times a week or once a week. I'll not be there maybe after work, but I have that conversation with them prior.
Right.
Most of the time I'll tell them, I'll be late tonight, I'll be late this evening, or I'll be late tomorrow. I might find you asleep or not, but yeah, just so you know. But in case something impromptu happens, which happens sometimes, I'll give them a call and, let them know. Yeah, and then...
Can I just say, sorry, I know I keep interrupting, but I'm loving all these things you're saying, because there's that thing of leaving your kids without even saying, and I think so painful,
it gives
right?
me a lot of anxiety. Yeah. I don't like to do that.
Yeah, just to disappear, then they find you gone. Like, I just feel like, I feel like that hurts the child in the end. So it's just nice to hear somebody talking about the fact that, you put your kids first also.
Yes.
It's good to let them know, and okay, they might cry, but this is the reality of the situation. I'm coming back, but I'm going to go and have an evening for myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've just remembered something. I was in Nairobi about 2.5 weeks ago. Was it? When did we do the marathon? Around that time, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Maybe 3 weeks ago or so. So this time, when I had to come for this, when I told my kids that I was coming, so Dorian says, but why do you have to go back to Nairobi so soon? I said, there's something I've got to do. Mama's got to do what Mama's got to do. But I don't understand. Why are you leaving us? And he actually broke down. So yes, let them know, let them break down, hug them, hold them, comfort them, other than
just dashing
out, and then you have to deal with that. It's going to torment you.
Right.
That's what I feel. Yeah. And the following day we were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my dad's biggest rule is never lie to the kids.
Don't.
Never, ever.
Yes.
If you can do something, if you tell them that you're doing something, you follow through.
Yes.
You don't, and I think that's also something I've really carried on as well. If I'm going to, if I've told them after school I'm doing but something else happens,
yes,
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Even if it's like something to do with making money, whatever. There are times where I just feel like my kids are also a priority. And in this society, in Kenyan society, I feel like it's like we have kids, but then we don't want to compromise a lot of the things that we do in order to raise our kids. And, I also, firstly, I get that we have to work and things like that, but I also feel like a lot of people would rather be doing a lot of other things and allow, it's so easy to get, I have 2 wonderful nannies and I love them so much, but it's so easy to just allow them to be raised as you're out doing whatever it is.
Yes.
And I think it's really important to prioritize your kids and make sure that, like you're doing, calling them to let them know what's happening with mama, where I'll be home, comforting them. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, something else I do for myself is working out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That really helps me because I do it in the morning, fasting in the morning. Yeah. And that helps because then, I get to meditate. I get to have time away from them.
Right.
Yeah. And just plan my day. So it's so interesting because nowadays, if I am meant to work out and I don't work out because I don't work out on Thursdays, but the rest of the days I work out and my daughter Natasha sets the alarm for me. So the days I haven't woken up, I haven't been able to go work out, they are all, up in my case. Mommy, why didn't you go to the gym?
Really? Yes. Amazing.
Why didn't you go to the gym? Or the previous day I tell them, Natasha asks, Mommy, can I set the alarm for you because you're going to the gym tomorrow? No, tomorrow I'm not going to the gym. Why? Why are you not going to the gym? So it feels like they're actually my accountability partners now.
I love that. Yeah. That's so nice.
Yeah. So
you should take them with you.
I do. I did. Okay, I actually did twice. I've done twice.
Right.
And they keep asking,
Wow.
Yeah, you should see them doing push-ups in the house.
I sometimes there's so many similarities here. Yeah, because the other day I was just sitting down and I see Molly outside doing some
I saw that video.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, what is happening? That's great habits to teach the kids. I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, so that helps. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my working out time as well for me is the time is time also for myself. But if there's one thing through your parenting journey that I think, something that you'd want to share with another mom who, might be having a hard time with their parenting, or might be in that place where, like you were in the past where you thought, I'm a bit nervous to go out of the house. What will other people think? If there's something that you could share with another mom going through something similar, what would that be?
I feel my children give me encouragement. Yeah. You don't focus on your children as a burden. Yeah. Focus on them as a gift and, as a tool for you to navigate in a difficult situation. Right. When you're in a challenging moment, think about those precious little souls. Yeah. They're there because of you. You brought them to this world. And even when they're driving you crazy, even when you feel like you want to crash, just remember how precious they are. Yeah. And I feel that helped me. That helped me a lot. Yeah. Because it was more of focusing on them and their well-being for me to make some very bold decisions.
Right.
Yeah. Outside of me, it was about the children. Yeah. And I've realized they're some of the best decisions I would ever have made. I would never have made if I didn't have them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And connect with them. Maybe this is secondary to your question, but connect with the children. Connect with those children. They will never forget that. That is why even when you're having a hard time, even when, there's friction between either child,
right?
I know we're still going to come back and remember how much we love each other.
Right.
Yeah. And they're still going to come and hug me and remind me how much they love me. Right. Because then you connect. Dr. Shafali, I don't know whether
I love her. I love her. She's incredible.
She's amazing. Yeah. Dr. Vanessa, Dr. Gabamate, they all talk about connection. They talk about how much you should show up for your children.
Right.
And most importantly, they say we have to deal with our inner child.
Right.
Yeah, we have to love our inner child.
Right.
Even when this inner child is not lovable or was not lovable, then that way you're able to show up for your children.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think there's just so much to learn when it comes to parenting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's beautiful, putting them first, right? Actually, that even resonates with me because at the end of the day, even, we go through some really hard times and it's about the kids. It's about the kids first and making sure that they're okay. And they have to navigate this world. We're all teaching our kids how to navigate this world in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. So thank you, Cathy. Thank you so much for being here. If you could just let us know where everyone can find you, and if somebody wants to, remember you saying that you love having conversations with moms around certain topics, so moms can reach out to you in your DMs. Let us know where we can find you, and we can also link it in the captions.
Okay. Yeah. Instagram. Yeah, I think I'm active on Instagram. And if you would like to have a call, I'm open for that. And if you're in Kilifi, of course, look for me.
Yeah, go visit her shop.
And visit Mawana's Blossom, my shop. And
and go and work out with her. I feel like she's really downplayed this, but we were even having conversations about her doing some maybe like workout content, which we will now be on the lookout for. Kath, thank you so much for coming all the way down here, sharing your story. I really hope other moms I know they'll get inspired by hearing your story because I'm sure a lot of moms are in the same position. And I really appreciate you coming down and sharing with us.
Thank you for having me, Tatiana. It's been great.
Yay.
Yeah, amazing.
And I'll be seeing you in Kilifi soon.
I can't wait. Looking forward. Yeah.